Hi Tanu,
Hi Devanshi.
good morning. We at No Law and me myself personally is very excited, very proud and very happy to have you here on our Saturday Instagram live.
I am too very excited. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
I think out of all the people that I've come across in life, known personally, professionally, more than anyone, I think you deserve to be on a platform which allows you to speak your voice and as you aspire for to speak for voices that go unheard. So I think you deserve, and it's rather our privilege to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Means a lot to me.
Okay, so we'll start with the live because I'm extremely excited. So I'll start with your brief introduction to everyone. I can see a lot of known people joining us from the days of Echo, HR, and RCHR. So, to give the brief introduction, Tanu Singh is not only a phenomenal lawyer and aspiring advocate, but she's also an amazing human being. She is currently graduated from CWC Law College in Mumbai, India, and she is, I'm not surprised, but she's definitely a rank holder, as I've been told. But more importantly, she's associated with Majlis Legal Center, which is basically a lawyer for women and children of sexual and domestic violence victims. And she's interning at this center very proudly. And she aspires to become a voice for the people whose voices go very often, and more than anything lately, very often go unheard. So thank you, Tanu. We are very, very happy to have you here. Let's begin our live.
Thank you. Thank you, Devanshi.
So, my first question to you is very naturally is going to be why law? There are so many ample of fields out there. While I know you want to be the voice, but besides that, what aspired, what triggered, what event triggered that you wanted to be a lawyer?
So, Devanshi, first of all, law was never my plan. Actually wanted to do something else. I wanted to appear for UPSC, but when I graduated, I had a thought that I'm not ready for this exam. So what is another plan that I can execute right now and think about? So I was suggested and thought of doing law. But before that, I had no idea what power this profession holds. As when I entered this profession, it completely changed my mind. It completely changed my future plans. So when I entered this profession, I researched about it. There is a lot of scope in this profession that I can pursue. And when I entered, started studying law, then I got to know this, and I wanted to continue because I know the power of judiciary right now. So this was my reason for choosing law.
As you rightly said, everyone thinks that, law is such a common career option, but nobody understands the power it holds. And, as it said, like with great power comes extremely high responsibilities. And you're responsible not only for your client's life, but their present, their future. And that is something which is a lot of burden. But yet again, when you successfully deliver justice, nothing is more happy and nothing is more peaceful when you go back home, right? And as I understand that you're working with a legal center which really supports the real issues of society, the high ending crimes, the high ending violence. Can you shed some light that why this particular field, why? And being in this field, does it like, sometimes scare you as a woman? Does it make you feel like, okay, there is something that is unsafe out there? Or does it make you overthink that, am I certain of being in this career?
So yeah, yes, Devanshi, it is scary. So when I entered this profession of chose this area of law to do internship, I it was an eye opener for me. It was so much overwhelming for me because the number of people are in need of social and legal support in this country is insane. every day new case, every minute a new case. So this organization that I'm interning with is an organization that provides social and legal support to the victims of sexual and domestic violence. So the number of cases that they deal with, it is just one organization dealing with this much case, and there are many other organizations dealing with it. So when I researched on this topic, I got to know that the NCRB data that releases the crime against a crime happening in India, the number of crime happening in India, is showed that recently, in just 1 year, crime against women increased by 8%, and crime against children in just 1 year increased by 5%. Every year, this data is increasing; it's not reducing. And this the data also showed that number of cases pending in the court at trial stage is for women, it is more than 80,000, and more than 6,000 are pending since like 5 to 10 years. Imagine. And 2 lakh cases against children are pending in courts, and more than 10,000 are pending since 5 to 10 years. So that makes me think about that, what could be the reasons. So while working with this organization, what I experienced, the reasons could be that people are not aware. People are not aware of their basic rights. They don't know where to go, where to approach. And most of the victims over here are less financially privileged. They, in my experience, one of my clients that I was dealing with told me, called me when I was at court waiting for her. She called me up and said that, ma'am, I have no money to travel to the court. So that makes me think about that she can't even come to court. Then the lawyer has to take the adjournment. What else can we do? You know, so they have not even a single rupee to take a Xerox paper or to submit it in the court. So we are providing support, we are providing other facility, but nobody here thinks about these basic things that they are suffering from. So one of the reason is this: they can't come to the court, so we have to take the adjournment and take next date. Secondly, what happens is that they are not informed when the next hearing is. So basically, they are not even aware that how to check what my next hearing, or who to approach to get to know what my next hearing could be. So I specifically dealt with the POCSO cases, the crime against children in this month. And I got to learn that they have so when the FIR is lodged in POCSO, the Child Welfare Committee also appoints a social support. So in our case, Majlis is a social support, which also provides legal support to the victims. So they also have the police station where the FIR is lodged appoints a Karkoon, which is a lower level police officer who deals with, who attends courts, and whose responsibility is to tell the victim or the complainant when the next hearing is, and when the accused applies for bail application, the complainant and the victim has to appear to the court to file a say. So it is the responsibility of the Karkoon. You need to approach to the police station where the FIR is lodged, get the Karkoon's number, and ask him or her when the next hearing is, or it is their responsibility. If they don't tell you when the next hearing is, the summon is issued. The summon is also issued to the police station. So the police officer's responsibility is to inform the victim that this summon has been issued to you. So this is also one of the reasons of delay in legal proceedings, that they're not informed, they don't have money to travel to the court, there is lack of awareness in the society that I practically have been experiencing day by day.
Tanu, the way you have explained the whole procedure, being in the law school, law field itself, I didn't know there's something called as carcoon, because while you work in the field, a lot of people out there, I would say 90% are not aware of this term. Like, it is so, that I would say, lack of information provided to the citizens, that none of us knew that something like this happens. While I do understand that the lower community, it's very difficult for them to reach a single court, and specifically knowing like often dates are adjourned because of whatever reasons, it becomes more and more difficult. And there is a point, mental state. So I wanted to ask you about the mental state when a victim approaches your center or approaches you. How do you deal with the mental state? How do you make them accept that, yes, this has happened to you, we are here to support you? And then how do you make sure that the applied law gives them justice?
Yes. So the mental state with which the victim approaches us is overwhelming and emotional, because what they went through is not something we could experience, or even if we put ourselves in their place, we can't think of what they are going through. So the child victim specifically who comes to us does not open up at the first stage. They don't even are opening up to the police officers. The information that they provide us are not even something that they had fully provided to their families or the police officers, because firstly they are scared. They don't know what happened to them. Like they're not aware of what's happening to them is illegal. They just feel that they are in pain and this is something wrong that happened to them. So the mental condition with which they are coming is emotional. So we provide them, they are in need of counseling. So the society today considers this term counseling as something wrong with their mental state, but that's not the case. What we need to understand over here is there is emotional imbalance that needs to be fixed, and counseling is provided for that purpose. It is not something that you could term it as somebody has a mental condition. It's not that. It's just emotional imbalance that needs to be fixed, and we provide counseling for that. So this is something that we need to make the parents of the child understand, make the child understand that you need to talk to this person. She will guide you. She will listen to all your problems. So that also helps them. So secondly, not every, so I said that, there is lack of awareness. So I would tell you that my first intention of creating my page was to build my confidence or to share information. But as I entered the profession, I experienced that there is a lack of awareness. Believe it or not, nobody is up. So then I decided that, if I can provide basic legal opinions or legal education or awareness in the society, I would do that. So, and we learned in our law school that ignorance of law is no excuse, right? So, but are we able to make the legal education affordable to all? Clearly no, right? It is not the profession that everybody could afford. So it is through us as lawyers or as professionals who have a little knowledge that we can provide in the society, and provide it through the social media platform is what is helpful to them. So coming to the point of lack of awareness when victims come to us is why children get scared because they see the police officers in uniform. So as per POCSO, when you are recording a child's statement, you can't be in uniform. You need to be in civil dress when you are recording a child's statement. Okay? And you need to record the statement at a place where child is comfortable, where child, if the child does not want the parents to be inside the room, you can't take the parents inside the room. You need to provide a safe environment when you are recording the child's statement. You need to make the child comfortable. So these are some of the provisions in POCSO rules that not everybody is aware of, or to be honest, not in rural part of India, not even police officers, the authority recording the statements are aware of this provision. So these are some of the lack of efficiency or education that is provided in the countries, right? So these are some of the points that we need to make the other people aware of, so that they can also notice this, or when they approach the authority, they can point this out, raise their voice, raise their opinion, and say that no, sir, my child is scared of this environment. Please. So if the police officer has to come to the house of the child to record the statement, we need to do that.
Right. So while I understand the whole procedure you said, and it was very insightful because not everyone knows about the act itself, and how there are different sort of places and environment a child needs to be taken into, and it's very sad in rural areas, specifically the northern region, the non-metropolitan cities, the tier 3, the below tier cities. While there's also something called as fast track proceeding that is in our law. Do you think that the proceeding, basically when such a grievance or heinous crime is taken place, is the fast track proceeding actually efficient, or is there needs to be more vigilance in it? There needs to be more strictness and authority that adhere to the deadlines, adhere to the justice needs to take place?
So yes, I feel that we need a fast track proceeding in such cases, because we have cases pending since 2015, and when the child comes to us, we explain it to them that you don't need to tell your story all the time, because it affects their mental state, right? As per the provisions, there are only 4 times that a child needs to explain their story. First, when the FIR is lodged. Secondly, when the child immediately is taken to the medical officer. So at the time of medical examination, they need to tell their statement. Thirdly, they need to tell it before the magistrate under 164 CRPC. Before the magistrate the statement is recorded 3 times, and then the 4th time is when at the trial stage is when he or she has to record his or her statement. But what happens is these 3 things, the first 3 things happen, but the trial takes a lot of years to come, right?
Yeah.
So the child might have forgotten what the story is, or must be living the life that she wanted to, or reliving the life that she is living, that she has a right to live. Then we call the child to the court. She has to again relive that moment. She has to again tell her story. Imagine what impact will that have on the child. He has to again experience the moment that she does not want to. So yes, we need to finish this we are in need of fast track proceedings, so that the child does not have to suffer. And also, when we say that the child only has to record 4 times, in practicality, there are other environment that is building her emotions. For example, is when the area, the environment that she is living in, but gets to know about her story. Is
Yeah.
one of the child victim told me her story that I I don't want to go to school because everybody at school look at me differently. I mean, just imagine the child is suffering. The they can't pursue their education because of the societal pressure or the environment they're living in. And if she's trying to forget it all over the then after a few years we are again calling her to the court, reminding her about the incident. Not fair on the child. Not fair.
More, of course, it is unfair, but I feel the opposite party can, take advantage of this also and say that, there's a lot of gray area. Is the child certain at this point? And how easy it is to scare a child's, fickle mind and say that, your story was a lie. And that completely creates sort of self-doubt. So I understand when you say how important the emotional balance needs to be, specifically at this age. While it is very unfortunate, the children that are going through this, even the women that are going through this, but do you think there needs to be stricter laws, or there needs to be an overall, like, like a therapy for the the people who are doing this, like who are creating these heinous crimes? What are your views on that?
So, Devanshi, in my opinion, I would say that we don't need more laws. What we need to
Right.
focus on is we already have so many laws protecting us. What we need to now focus on is implementation of this, effective implementations of this law,
Right.
creating awareness amongst people, creating awareness even amongst the authorities, holding the authorities accountable for their actions. I think we need to focus more on these areas so that we can avail the already existing laws that we have to protect the victims currently,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah, that's actually very well said. I want your so everybody knows what's happening in the country right now in terms of a seven sister state, Manipur. What I would ask you two things. A, what are your views on the fact that it was delayed? The complaint was delayed. B, what are your views on people, just okay, while I understand you want to aware a situation, but is it necessary to share the video as well? Because I'm very on this point that it's not just a WhatsApp post or it's not an Instagram meme or anything that needs to be circulated around. I understand you're awareing people, but was it necessary to share the video? Like, I want your views on the whole structure out here and the law behind it.
so coming to the point of was it necessary to share the video? Looking at the actions taken after sharing of the video is after 2 months the government is helping the state, or the government is coming forward, the judiciary is coming forward only because they got to know about it. How did they get to know about it? Through the video that was shared. Okay, so I would say that sharing or using the platform of social media is necessary, but what we need to understand is we should also be aware of the legal consequences that it is creating, right? So, for example, as per law, you cannot reveal the identity of the victim, identity of a sexual violence or the rape victim. So, when you are sharing information on social media, making it viral, please be aware of it, right? Because as per the Indian Penal Code, you can be punished if you have revealed the identity of the victim. So sharing was necessary because of the actions that were taken after. Using the right use of the social media platform is necessary because this is the way we can voice our opinions. And I'm happy to see that the actions that were taken after this all incident revealed, and how the world is coming together to help or to unite people together. But what makes me also think about what was happening behind the scene for 2 months. I mean, the police, the women were taken from the police van. The investigation showed that the women were taken from the police van. They could see who the culprits were. Yet, after 2 months, no arrest. I mean, this is what makes me think about how efficiently or inefficient the system is, or how inefficiently the authority is working in the background. So this is what my opinion is. But I'm happy to know that the actions were taken after everything came forward, or people started to raise their voice with social media platforms. So
Yeah, that's fantastic. Even the Supreme Court, respected CGI, went ahead and said that if the government doesn't take action, we will take the action, which sort of does show that, there is, it's independent. The judiciary in India is independent, and the laws are beyond everybody's power. Nobody can influence it. You are just as good as a normal citizen, whoever you may be, from whichever stature, caste, irrespective. In front of the court, you're just a common man, right? My so in a situation where a complaint is after 2 months, right? There's also gray area. There is mental issues a victim is going through. In that case, do you think there should be a reform where there should be rigorous counseling for the emotional balance taking place, specifically talking about the Manipur case?
sorry, what
In
was your question?
this, in the sense that the victims, the women that went through this under the tribal pressure or irrespective, after coming in picture after 2 months, 1.5, 2 months, now they're going to go into full-fledged of trial proceedings, magistrate, medical practicing. That is going to affect their emotional imbalance. So do you think in such a special case, the Supreme Court itself should have a reform where they give, a shelter home or provide rigorous counseling till the fast track proceeding ends?
Yes, definitely. They need to. Should get fast track proceedings, and they should get the counseling that they need, they require, because first of all, they must also have lost the hope. They might not trust the process, right? Because they aren't aware of whether everybody in the world knew about the incident, because they could only experience a certain group of people whom, yeah, they trusted, and they could not, the people could not make up to their trust, and or broke their trust. So there is also a lack of trust in them currently. And again, if we delay in providing them justice, we won't be able to gain their trust back, right? So I feel that there is a need that they should be provided with something like counseling, so that they have the emotional balance to deal with the situation that they are dealing with, and that there is a need for fast track proceeding in this case, for sure.
Thank you so much, Tanu. There are a lot of things that I was not aware that happens, practically, where we all study the law, IPC, CRPC, and, all law students who passed in COVID, irrespective. We really didn't know the application of something like this actually happens and in what manner it happens. So you've given our audience a really intense, not only intense, but a direct on field, on ground procedure that takes place. And we not only as Know Law, but everyone who's associated with you, are really grateful of, a lawyer like you being out there. It's very rare to see people who are selfless in this field and working for a purpose without the intention of, will I get something? Am I achieving something out of this? You don't question that. You actually see, how can I help that child? How can I help that woman? So, another case like this is not there. And the fact that your center is actually even providing social help just shows that, it's not always about law, it's not always about legality, it's something more about humanity out there. So thank you so much, Tanu. You've given a lot of new things, as I can see in the comments. People, I think it has been a wonderful Saturday session with you, and I really hope we have such more sessions further where you give us more insight on the procedure and on the humanity aspect of this particular topic. Thank you so much, Tanu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Devanshi. I would also like to conclude by, saying that the profession that we are in is like a blessing for us, right? And we need to treat it like a blessing and help whoever is in need. I want to tell our audience today that this law is here for you. So I would give you one example. So if the police officer is not ready to file your FIR, you need to approach the higher authority. You need to
Right.
approach the superintendent of police, commissioner of police, or even the magistrate court.
Magistrate.
Yeah, your complaint will be registered. The law is here for you. Make most use of it.
I think with lawyers like you, at least I feel safe now. And I'm very proud of this. So thank you, Tanu. Thank you so much. I hope you achieve everything out there. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Devanshi. Thank you.
Thank you.